now. Okay, I'm going to record this so people who couldn't be here will be able to see it. I'll put it on YouTube and they'll be able to see it, but just know that your picture is being shown right now. So if you don't want your face on the recording, you just, turn off your camera. So what I'm going to show you guys is EDpuzzle today. So if you go to the Google Classroom, under what the Tech Tuesday topic, you'll see the little single Google slide for EDpuzzle. And there are two things that you'll need on there. I also made a bit.ly for it, so I'll put the bit.ly in the chat if you don't want to go to the Google Classroom, or if you're on your phone and that's kind of hard. So, so the bit.ly is bit.ly/Rondo EDpuzzle. So there it is, bit.ly/Rondo EDpuzzle, and that'll take you right to the slide. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Come up here. So in classwork, under What the Tech Tuesday, here it is. So and I have directions right here. The very first thing I want you guys to do is get the Chrome extension. And I'll show you why it's important to have the Chrome extension. So if you want to just click here where the finger is, the link will pop up. Just click on it and it'll take you right to the Chrome Web Store and add the extension. Mine says remove because I already have it. But add the extension, and then once you get it, it's kind of hard to see up here in the top of my screen, but it's a little puzzle piece. It's just a little gray puzzle piece, not this ginormous one. That one's always there. That's something new from Chrome. But right next to it is a little puzzle piece. Looks like this thing, but it's gray. So just add that, add the extension, just follow through whatever it asks you to do. And then I want you to go to YouTube, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this YouTube channel. And you can type in whatever it is you're looking for. In addition to showing you EDpuzzle, I also wanted to introduce you to the QFT, which is question formulation technique. It's something that Harvard, University of Harvard or Harvard University, they have a lot of research on questioning techniques, and it's perfect for PBL, for STEAM. It's actually good for everyone, but it's very, very good for what we're doing. It really helps to get that curiosity going with our students. So I'm going to just use this video. So I'm going to click on it. You guys could have typed in anything that you wanted to look for. Notice now that I have the Chrome extension, what do you see down here? Edit with EDpuzzle. So now when you're on YouTube, because you have that Chrome extension, this will show up under all your videos from now on, unless you disable it. And if you don't know how to disable it, you go to that huge puzzle piece, and then you can just click on the extension itself here, and you can remove it or disable it. So, oops, let me close that.
Ronnie, I'm sorry I missed. Where's the YouTube video at?
So just go to youtube.com. And then if you want the same video that I'm using, or if you just want to type in at the top, search for anything you're looking for, like you could, something like that, then you'll get a video. Any video you click on, you're going to have your extensions going to show up at the bottom. So I'm going to use this one. All right, so now that you have your video, do you guys want me to give you a couple minutes to find a video? Yeah, okay, I'm going to pause the recording. Let's see, I don't know if I can pause it while I'm sharing my screen. Let me stop share. I'm going to pause recordings. Okay, back to sharing my screen. Oops. All right, so now that I have my video and I've already loaded my extension, I'm gonna click here where it says Edit with EDpuzzle. So click on that. It's gonna take you to EDpuzzle. It's supposed to take you to EDpuzzle. Oh gosh, are you guys getting the 404?
What?
No, just me, of course. All right. I'm just gonna go to EDpuzzle. So I'm gonna go back. So if you got the 404 error, you could go back to the slide. If you click right here on this EDpuzzle, it's gonna give you a link. It's gonna take you to EDpuzzle. For some reason, mine. Okay, forget it. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Oops, EDpuzzle. So EDpuzzle is basically a platform where you can make videos or take videos from YouTube or Vimeo or National Geographic. Again, you can make your own or go to these different platforms and get videos that you like, and then you embed them in content, which means what you're doing is you're adding questions, you're adding comments, you're adding all kinds of information to the video itself. So when you log in, anytime it gives you or sign up the option to log in with Google, do that. So if you click sign up, it should give you the option. You say I'm a teacher and then sign in with Google. I already have an account, so I'm going to go back to sign in. My Zoom screen is in the way. So I'm going to log in with my Google account. One less password and username to remember. And now you're in, should be your home page. Is this home? It might have gone to where I normally go. There we go. So basically it's going to show you things that are trending, things that are popular. And because so many teachers in Corona Norco use EDpuzzle, there should even be, once you sign up with your district and your school, a Corona Norco hub where a bunch of videos are stored that other teachers have made. So anything that you create, just know that it's probably going to show up here for your school. So I added Rondo when I did this a couple days ago, so I'm hoping it was one of the options for you. If not, you can just add it. Okay. So you guys good? You good, Becky? Ready? All right. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of a tour. Up here on the right is where everything exists that you're going to use. So the analytics from EDpuzzle are amazing. It'll tell you how long a student spent on the video. It'll tell you how many they got right out of the total. It'll tell you which questions they got wrong. So if all your students missed number 2, then you'll know that's something that you need to reteach. Maybe the video didn't do a very good job of it. And then also your classes. So what's nice about EDpuzzle is all of the kids in your roster for Google Classroom will get imported into your EDpuzzle, and that becomes your class. And if a new student joins your Google Classroom, they'll automatically be in your EDpuzzle. So to add your new class, just click on Google Classroom. And on the left, it'll show all of your classes. So pick your class that you want to add. And then at the very bottom, it'll say import class or import classes. And the integration between Google Classroom and EDpuzzle is really nice. So all the scores for any assignment you have in here, they will automatically populate in your Google Classroom gradebook. So it's another way of keeping all of those scores in one gradebook in one place. The drawback to EDpuzzle is that you can only have 20 lessons at a time. So hopefully you'll be able to use 20 lessons for first trimester, and then you can delete all 20 and do 20 lessons for second trimester. The problem with that is when you delete the lesson, all your questions and everything get deleted. So maybe you could work with your grade level team and each of you can make 20 and use each other's because it'll be in the, in the Rondo Raptors content area. I haven't played with that, so I'm not exactly sure how that will work. The only way you can get storage for more is to share this with other people. So everyone who's not watching this right now, if you share EDpuzzle with the people in your grade level, you're going to get a lot more room for lessons, which is great for you, but not so much for them. Let's see. So anything that you create, the due assignments will show up here. If there are no due date, those assignments will show up there. And then if you click on students, these are all the teachers from our school. So these are all your students. And then you could actually do something with the student. Select, oh, so I could remove her from the class. I'm not going to do that, Stephanie. And then you could remove all of them. So there's not a lot you can do with students, but you can actually see who's in your class. Becky.
Okay, so on my screen, I don't see where it would be my classes on the left-hand side.
So you clicked on Google Classroom? Or did you click on?
I didn't see anything that would say Google Classroom. I just see content, home, curriculum.
Okay, so you see up here at the top where it says content, gradebook, my classes?
No.
You don't have that?
Yes, I do. I apologize.
That's okay. No, it's okay. I probably went too fast.
So I just go to my classes.
Yeah.
And I now see the Google, so I now have the question answered. Thank you.
Good. There you go. And then you also have class options right here. You could rename it, you could add a description, just a few little class options. And then at the end of the year, you can delete this class or at the end of the trimester. And then here, if you feel like you have new students in your Google Classroom, but they're not appearing here, you can import those students. So it just is going to reset it so that it imports anyone who's not on your list that's in your Google Classroom. And then these three dots right here. So I know a lot of students maybe go by their middle name, or for example, my name's Rhonda, but I don't go by Rhonda, I go by Ronnie. So here I could edit, let's say, as Stephanie, I can call her eSteph, and it'll show up in the classroom as eSteph. We can't do that in our Google Classrooms, but you could definitely do it here in EDpuzzle. And then you could reset the password. Usually they don't join with a password now that the integration with Google Classroom's there, but you could reset the password if you needed to. So that's classes. That's how you create the class. Now let's get started with a video. So I'm gonna go back here.
Honey, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I'm still trying to get my Google Classroom on there, and it's asking about parental consent.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to worry about parental consent. We've already, so one of the rules, or it's an act, it's called SOPPA, S-O-P-P-A. It is only a California law, and that law means that any website or application that your students use has to be listed on our district when they sign up, and this one's listed. So you don't have to worry about that. So just ignore that.
Okay, so can I just click yes, my school can consent on behalf of parents?
Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Parentis locus. Okay, so I got my video. So when you go to content, this is where you can look for stuff. And if you look on the left-hand side, these are all the places where you can pull content from. Other EDpuzzles, YouTube, Khan Academy, Nat Geo, TED Talks, Veritasium, which is science. Numberphile, obviously, is math. And then Crash Course is usually science and some social studies. So I'm going to pull from YouTube, and I'm going to see if putting this link in here works. It did. So let me go back. I just wanted to see if that would work. So here on YouTube, you could just look through, or you could come up here and type in what it is you're looking for if you hadn't already gotten it on YouTube. If you didn't get the 404 error like I did, your video might already be in here. So basically what you want to do is you're going to select your video. Is there anyone who's not at this point yet? Okay, seems like you guys are ready for the next step. So in here, if you want to edit this, embed it in the content, what you're going to do is, I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, so because I didn't go straight from YouTube to this, it's telling me that there are 5 other people other than myself who have this video. And do you see right here where it has a 6 and a little drop or a little bubble? That means that it has 6 questions or 6 places in the video where it stops. Now the video is only 2 minutes long, so that's really good because honestly, a student's attention span for video is way less than it used to be. Back in the day, I would put my kids in front of Beauty and the Beast and I could get my whole house clean in an hour and 45 minutes. But now you're lucky to get 5 minutes from the students. So there is kind of an unspoken rule. It should be 4 minutes or less. When you embed it in content, you could exceed the 5 minutes. It's just a parameter for you to be aware of. So having 6 in there, that means it's stopping about every 30 seconds. That's a good metric. But as you review your video, you might find that you need 10 stops in 2 minutes, or you only need 4 stops in 2 minutes. It's up to you where you want the video to stop, and you can make it so the kids can't pass up the stopping point, especially if it's a question. They have to answer the question. So I'm just going to use this lady's video to kind of show you. And down here, you can see all her stopping points. So she pretty much lets it go for almost a minute, maybe 45 seconds before her first stopping point. So in her stopping point, if I go to edit, where's my edit button? My Zoom thing is in my way. I can't see everything. Okay, so over here on the right, it shows me 48 seconds. She has a multiple choice question. At 1 minute, 9 seconds, she has an open-ended questions, like a reflection type. And then 7 seconds later, she has another multiple choice. And then almost near the end, she has an open-ended. I could assign this right now if I like it, but I'm going to edit it. And the reason why I want to edit is because of the editing tools that you have. So number 1, you can cut your video. You can trim it. It used to be you could only trim it on the front and the back end. But now they've made it so you can cut pieces out of the middle. So if you have that 12-minute long video, but you really only want this chunk and this little chunk, you can do that. It will allow you to trim out anything you want to in the video and make it your own. So to trim it, it's on cut. So if I click here, it's not on cut. But if it's here, it's on cut. I can just trim this wherever I want it to be cut. And then I can click cut. And it's not cutting. Why isn't it cutting? Maybe, there we go. I just moved the wrong thing. So now it's trimmed that part of the video. So I'm going to undo that because I really don't want to do that. So just play around with that. There's really not a lot I can do to show you where the cut piece is. So here I can, it's not, maybe it is only on the front. Someone told me that you could do it in the middle, and I tried it and it worked, but it doesn't seem to be working for this. Yeah, looks like it's only allowing me to do it on the front and back end. Maybe it's because no, I was gonna say maybe it's because it's somebody else's. Are any of you guys able to make it cut in the middle? You are? Okay, Stephanie was able to. This is probably because this isn't my video, it's someone else's that I'm messing around with. All right, So the next thing that I want to show you is the voiceover piece. So this is really neat, especially if you have maybe some talking that's going too fast for your grade level or your English learners. Let's say you teach the Mandarin and they want to take this great video, but they want to voice over in Mandarin. So it allows you to do quite a few things. They used to have something called audio notes, and I wish they hadn't taken it away. What it did was it allowed you to stop the video and then you were able to say something. Now you can no longer do that. You can add a note, but you can't add a voice note. So here in questions is where you can add a note. So we've always been able to use the typing note, but the voice note was really nice, and they may bring it back if they get enough feedback for it. So somewhere in this video, so let's say right here, I want to add a multiple choice question. So I'm gonna play the video until I get to a point. Right there. I can stop the video and I can click multiple choice question. Here's where I type my question, and you'll notice it also allows me to do superscript and subscript. It allows me to add a link, an image. There's a lot of things I can do with this. So what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5 items for QFT process? So here, and you can check all that apply also. So I could just put a green check mark next to all of them that I want, and you can keep adding answer options here. So you could do yes, no, true, false. It could be a poll. You could poll because you could have students vote for the one that they like and they would all be correct, and then you would find out in the analytics which one was selected most often. But here is where you would type your answer. So I'll just put standing for produce, improve, prioritize, plan, and reflect. Here I could just put like product instead of produce, something like that. So you would just add them all, and then when you're finished, you just click save. So I'll delete this one, I'll delete this one so I can click save. There we go. Oops. No, I need that to be wrong. And now it's not letting me say save. Oh, because I just changed it from wrong to right. There we go. So now I can click save, and now I have an added question right there. So you can see it right here. So it stops the student in the middle of the video, gives them the question, and gives them the 2 options. For me, it's showing that this one's correct because I'm the teacher, I'm the editor. When the student selects the answer, they get instant feedback. They know right then and there if they were right or if they were wrong. It'll turn red if it was wrong, and it'll turn green if it was correct. So any questions? No? It's pretty straightforward. That's one thing that I like about it. It's kind of an entry-level tool, but you can leverage it in a lot of different ways. So then the student would click continue. Now, open-ended question, pretty self-explanatory. You just ask your question and the kids just type their answer. It could be reflective. It could be, you know, compare and contrast. It could be a lot of different things. And then the last question type is, trying to get this to go away. There we go. Is a note. Now, a note is usually used, for example, you've got this right here. Maybe I really want to drive home the point of what the QFT focus is. How does it help students generate their own questions? So right here, I would even put in my own spin on it. In project-based learning and in STEAM, the key component to being successful in both of those learning platforms is being able to generate high-level questions. And so utilizing this format, the QFT format, is a great stepping stone for all grade levels. This works for kindergarten also, for getting students to be more resilient in developing quality questions. So I might just put that, and then they would move on. So that's basically it. Then I would finish it and assign. I would click my students. And oh, by the way, the default setting is to prevent students from skipping all of these things that you've put in there. And the default setting is for the closed captions to be turned on. It does not translate, but it will have the closed captions on there. And I don't know if you guys know the trick for using Google Translate on websites and stuff, but if they have the Google Translate Chrome extension, you can translate closed captions. So I'm going to go ahead and post it on Google Classroom, turn this on, and then assign it. And here it is. I just wanted to do that just so you guys could see this dashboard. So here, it'll show you how much of it they've watched, when they last watched it, because we want to encourage them to watch it more than once if they got anything wrong, and then if they've turned it in, and then your 3 dots, you can reset their progress. So if the parents want them to start all over, you can reset it. And that's basically EDpuzzle. It's not real involved. I'm trying to make these What the Tech Tuesdays something simple and that you can get your teeth into, and it won't take you a ton of time figuring out how to use everything. So do you guys have any questions? And if you want to dig into the QFT, I have a PowerPoint for Zoom that you could use on your Zooms just to get the kids started. I have a PDF if you just want to look over it yourself and kind of give your own spin to it. It's really neat. Basically, you put up a statement or a fact. You don't start with a question. You put up a statement or a fact, and the kids generate questions from the statement. It could be a quote from a book. It's really fun, actually, when you use like a Dr. Seuss quote or something like that. And then the kids just generate questions, and you'll pair them up, and you'll have them, some of the times they're going to come up with questions that aren't questions, they're statements. So you ask them to turn it into a question. Then you teach them about open questions and closed questions. Closed questions are yes and no. Open-ended are, they require an explanation. And you'll even have them take a closed question and make it into an open question, and vice versa. A closed question into an open question. Wait, or the other way. And then once you do that, then you have them, of the questions they develop, you have them pick their top 3 questions. And those questions, they then categorize them. And this is like part 2 of the QFT. Once they learn how to categorize the questions, they need to determine, is this something I need to get more information to answer, or is it something I need to do to answer? And so it's information or a task question. And then that just kind of becomes a little research project for them. It's really kind of fun. One of the ways I got my 5th and 6th graders started was I would use the headbands game, and I would put them in groups of 4 or 5, and they had to ask questions to figure out what the item was that was on their headband. Now, yes, these are yes and no questions, but it's also helping them critically think about, how do I ask a question to get the information I want? So it's just kind of a lead-in activity, something that you could think about doing if you wanted to. And I know it doesn't have too much to do with EDpuzzle, but I wanted to throw a little something in there because EDpuzzle is pretty simple.
Is that something you can put in the Google Classroom, like those PDFs and stuff you were talking about?
Yep, I will definitely do that. I have a regular PowerPoint, a Zoom PowerPoint, and a PDF. Yeah, I'll put them in there. So do you guys have any questions about EDpuzzle?
What if I have a question? What is a Zoom PowerPoint versus a PowerPoint?
So a Zoom PowerPoint lends itself to the actual activity. So let me go into Google Drive. I'm gonna stop the recording because we've kind of done the EDpuzzle piece. So I'm gonna stop the Zoom recording. Do you want to see? Yes. Okay, why won't it let me?